This is the 209th episode of CloudFocus Weekly for the second week of March 2015. The episode is titled Apple Watchers. CloudFocus Weekly is brought to you by Arkus, and we are hiring. If you're a Salesforce consultant or want to be a part of a unique and growing company, send your resume to careers@arkusinc.com. That's careers@arkusinc.com. I'm your host, Jason Atwood, and joining me is the co-host, with the most sis, Justin Elstein. Justin, how you doing?
I don't like what you did there.
You're a grumpy grumpster.
I don't like it.
You're so grumpy.
I don't like it one bit.
So grumpy for a Friday. It's
How
Friday.
does my new snowball sound, I wonder?
I listened to the podcast last week.
Yeah?
That's a lie. And it sounded great.
I listened.
It sounded good.
It sounded all right.
I think I need to get a little farther away because I have a loud booming voice.
You have this pop that happens.
That's because I get up all close.
You're overmodulated.
I am. And
Stop overmodulating.
Speaking of overmodulating,
Listen,
we have an agenda.
overmodulator. Knock it off.
So we're skipping. I know this is crazy because this is always on the agenda. We're skipping a blog post for this week. So next week we're going to have two. We'll talk about that at the end of the podcast because we got lots to talk about. Because on Monday,
You're so happy.
Timmy, the main man cook, took the stage. And in the Apple event,
Don't you dare leave off Christy Turlington. Isn't that what her name was?
Yeah, I know, but Tim first.
Don't leave her off.
I'm going to leave her off right now.
Don't do it. She was the star of the show.
And did a very, very, very prototypical Salesforce announcement, which is...
Wait. A Salesforce announcement?
Sorry, Apple announcement.
Hold on. Tim Cook did a Salesforce announcement?
He actually did, because he showed off a Salesforce app.
No, he didn't. That geeky guy who does the watch demo
Oh,
did.
maybe he did. Anywho, so we have tons to talk about. We're just going to talk about the Apple event. We're going to talk about the Apple Watch. We're going to do that, but we're going to start with the least important things and move our way up to the most important thing. Starting with the announcement. So for anybody who doesn't know, this happened on this Monday. It was a 2-hour event, streamed live. I actually watched the whole thing streamed this time, but on my iPad in the gym on an elliptical. So after about an hour, I was like, okay, I got to stop because I can't just keep going on this elliptical.
Well, you could have.
I could
You're
have.
a wimp.
Yes. For someone who can't spell elliptical, maybe you should be saying that to me.
Wait a minute. Oh, my brain doesn't have spell check.
There
so
you go.
I can't tell.
So they started off with, everybody knew what was coming. This was sort of, there's the knowns and the unknowns. The knowns was the Apple Watch. We're going to get to that. And here's the unknowns. First off, they did hey kids, remember that hobby we had, which is the Steve Jobs thing, about the Apple TV? Well, we're dropping the price. Which I feel like went over well, that's really interesting. It's been $99 for, 7 years? I mean, or maybe it was $129. Yeah, it used to be like $129.
Used to be a lot bigger, too.
So they dropped the Apple TV down to $69, which is kind of the lead-in to say, and we're partnering with HBO to do the thing we've been waiting for forever, which is to have HBO move away from having a cable subscription. HBO Now, which is different than HBO Go.
Right.
By the way, I'm waiting for HBO later.
Right.
Which is right after
That's
now.
you.
Yeah.
I don't know why you would even get you personally, Jason,
Yes.
would get HBO Now.
Oh, I'm definitely going to get it. I will save $5 a month, and I never, ever, ever use HBO, the actual channel. Ever. So I'll save $5 a month.
Oh, I see.
$60 a year.
Because it's less money than your subscription on
I
cable.
checked. My cable bill is $19.99.
Because you never watch anything now. You do always watch things later.
Yeah, I want HBO later for $11.99 or $9.99.
You want HBO Go, but for it to not be tethered to your cable subscription.
To a $20 a month cable subscription. That's correct. I don't watch any of the channels. There's 17 channels. I watch none of them. I basically watch, I watch all TV except for live sports. Revis. That I watch just what's been done. I always TiVo everything, and I don't watch anything week to week except for a couple crappy Survivor, which was on my crappy TV list, my guilty TV. I watch that week to week because it really doesn't matter, and I don't really care, so I just watch Survivor. But everything else I watch,
I don't think I'm getting this.
Well, Okay, this is one of those guarantee you will because you tell me you're not going to do something and then you will.
Here's my reason.
I know your reason. Oh, sorry. Everybody else doesn't. Oh,
Well,
okay.
everyone else is waiting in suspense while you just say, I don't care. I already
You
know.
know what? That's funny. We could get on this podcast and we could just be like, this week, we've
week,
already discussed everything.
We already had this conversation
Justin
twice.
and Jason have spent too much time together this week. We've discussed everything we're going to discuss.
And we're out.
And we didn't record
and we
any
just
of it.
pick up the mics and drop them.
And drop the mics. All right, go ahead. Why would you not get HBO
Because
now?
I watch HBO shows when they're on live on the TV.
Right.
And the quality of, and I have watched them when missing them that night on HBO Go because they're immediately available on HBO Go.
At the start of the show or after the show
At the
ends?
start of the show, they're available.
Okay.
So I've done that, and the quality is nowhere close to the quality that you can get when watching it actually on television. So there's a bit of a herky-jerkiness to it, like where you know you're streaming it.
You need a better internet connection.
I have a pretty good internet connection, and it's
Is your
not
Apple
over
TV
Wi-Fi. It's connected directly to the router. It's as good as I can get it. It's sitting right next to it, like that.
Well, no,
not that matters because it's connected
by wire. It doesn't matter
through the wire. So it's just a little too herky-jerky for me and unreliable. I feel like when this happens, when this cutover happens, and all of a sudden people get siphoned off of watching things live on television to starting to crush their servers and starting to watching it live streaming, because when Game of Thrones gets released,
right,
April 12th,
yes,
when that first episode comes on,
oh yeah,
and a bunch of people are on this HBO service, this HBO Now or HBO Go, because presumably they're going to be, pushing it out from the same place.
Right. Yep.
I know I will be able to watch it on television. I don't, with 100% certainty, know that I will guaranteed be able to watch it without an issue, without skipping, without herky-jerkiness.
Right.
With this streaming service. I will wait. I will wait until they have built it up and it's rock solid, and then I will move.
So it's interesting.
Eventually,
but
I will
you're
get
basically betting that because your experiences. I've never experienced any herky-jerky.
But you do not watch
anything
the shows when they're happening.
No. And
the bandwidth is being sucked at that moment.
And I was saying I never do, except for Game of Thrones on the final episode. Because what I do is I wait until the final week.
Them.
I used to, right. So I've never done this, but I will be doing this now. So I might have to be that guy who learns the hard way come 2.5 months from now, when it's the Sunday night. I've streamed all the episodes, right? Because I'm watching it for that week because I'm going to catch up. And then it's 9:00, and Sarah and I, the wife and I, want to watch the final episode that we're watching on the time that's actually going, and it doesn't, whatever. Then I'm coming up to your apartment, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, that's fine. Whatever.
Yeah, all right.
I can't guarantee I'll be wearing pants.
Wow, this podcast
no
just
guarantee.
Went, yeah.
I mean, I'll try. If you just give me 45 minutes of notice, I will put pants on.
Not going to touch you and your pants.
Don't touch me without my pants on. Oh my goodness, where is this going?
Oh.
Look where you took this.
Two dudes weekly. Anyway.
Again, we've had this conversation.
So let's do this. So it's a free month. So that's one. They're going to free month. That's first of all why I won't cancel until after that free month, because it's pretty much that month is going to be slammed. I think a lot of people are going to go from Go to Now. So I don't think it's actually going to, like, the net new is only those cord cutters. I don't know how many of them are. You still need to own an Apple TV. Apple has it exclusive for Apple TV for 3 months. But here's the bigger piece of this, and this is obvious. The writing is on the wall. Apple TV, as we know it, come June, when WWDC happens, is going to change.
Yes.
They're doing this whole lowering the thing, and the HBO Now, it's all going to change.
It's going to go into one of those little sticks. It's going to be a lot smaller. Maybe not a stick, but something tinier than it even is now. And somehow it'll be more powerful.
They're going to reimagine it.
They're going to reimagine it. They're going to forge a new alloy.
No,
they're going to do something incredible.
It's going to have
aluminum will change forever.
It's going to have a store. which is what the Apple TV needs now, is a store.
Everyone needs a store.
Well, instead of putting all these channels on my Apple TV when I boot it up, how about you let me pick
I don't want Crunchyroll.
Right.
I don't watch Japanese anime.
Right.
Nothing against those who do. I don't.
Right. But it just shows up now because there's no way to add. There's ways to delete. There's no way to add.
I just want my crunchy spicy tuna roll. I don't need that on my Apple TV.
So that's my prediction. WWDC, Apple, the Apple TV, the real thing, and this is the start of it. I'm so really excited about HBO Now because this is where I want cable to go.
Yeah,
I don't want to pay
I do too. I just want it to be good enough.
Well, I'll be the
when it gets there.
I will test it for you. All right. The next thing they announced was something called Research Kit. So they talked a lot about their 3 kits. Like they talked about Home Kit. They talked about
Car.
No, that's CarPlay. There's 3 kits. There's Home Kit, Health Kit, or Health Kit, and then they said there's a new thing, Research Kit.
Right.
So Home Kit is the thing that they basically announced that I have not heard anything about, which is that they're creating one centralized place that can talk to all your home automation. But I haven't seen anything with it. And I love home automation. I mean, I love that stuff. I have got more stuff in my house. I love it. So I'm waiting for that. Health Kit is sort of a place that can centralize health apps, but I have not seen much of that either.
I don't like the health app. It doesn't really do much.
Right. Well, that's the app, not the kit. The kit is the SDK
but
behind
it's
it.
Saying Runkeeper's talking to it, but I don't see how.
No, it's not. Right. So that sort of hasn't thing. But now there's a new thing called Research Kit, which is the ability to take medical research, which I guess has been it's not really something I know a lot about, but it's been very difficult because to get people to sign up and it skews the results, and basically move it into an app, make it private so Apple never gets any of the data.
Did you play with any yet?
I didn't. I saw 1 million people signed up for one, which is more than they get in a year.
It was really funny because here in our office suite, on the televisions is always like CNBC, I guess it is.
Yeah, CNBC.
And they were talking about it on Tuesday or Wednesday, whatever the next day was. And the woman was asking the expert, like the woman host was asking some expert about this, the research kit.
Right.
And was saying, the guy said, "Oh, and it's open source." And that got a huge ovation from the crowd. And then the woman sort of froze up because she didn't really know what it meant.
Oh, wow.
She's like, wait a minute. So if it's open source, are there any security concerns around it being open source? And I sort of started laughing to myself, but then I was like, well, if she doesn't know what that means, I guess that's sort of an okay statement to ask or question to ask an expert. Because a lot of the people watching probably don't know what that means. But I had a good kick out of it.
Yeah. Well, that is one of the, other than Safari and WebKit, which they built many, many years ago, and they released as open source. And obviously they leveraging it under OS X, they leveraging a Unix open source product. And I think they built something on top of it that they then made that open source. Apple has not been in the open source game. They're the closed source.
They're the closed
So
box.
I kind of like this. This is an interesting thing. Again, they announced 5 projects with a whole bunch of hospitals and things, around asthma, breast cancer.
I bet it was
Alzheimer's.
I bet it was the Michael J. Fox one is the one that everyone probably downloaded.
Well, it's not a Michael J. Fox app.
But they worked with his foundation. They worked with his foundation.
Yeah,
the one where you tap.
That was Alzheimer's.
Parkinson's. That was
Parkinson's.
The ones where you do the finger tapping.
Right.
I bet that's the one that everyone signed up for because it looked like it was kind of fun.
Totally interesting.
It just looked like a fun app. Like, I'll just tap.
Right.
And I'll talk into something.
And I think the asthma one, there wasn't really one. You had to have these USB dongles and stuff to breathe into it. So, but hey, listen, if it's awesome in terms of what it can do. Yep, changing the world. Speaking of changing the world, they announced the return of. Not that many people knew that it was missing, but the return of the MacBook.
The return of the Mac?
So you're saying to yourself, probably just like that dumb CNBC person, what do you mean? The MacBook has been around forever. No, sir. There's been the MacBook Air and the MacBook Pro. But before those two, there was a MacBook, which disappeared as a product many years ago. It was the in-between. You had the MacBook, you had a MacBook Air, and you had a MacBook. Well, you actually just didn't have an Air. You had MacBook and a MacBook Pro. Before that, it was PowerBook, if you really want to go back in history. Anyway, and
the wife had a PowerBook. The 12-inch one.
Yes, 12-inch PowerBook. Very popular.
Very, very popular.
They now release a new MacBook. It's in the middle of the line, so it's more powerful but thinner than a MacBook Air, but a bigger screen.
Lightest, thinnest, most amazing feat of engineering we have ever accomplished.
Johnny Ive went crazy on the...
We took something that was this big and made it this big.
They said it was 67% reduction in the size of the motherboard, which is pretty impressive.
We took fans and threw them out.
Just destroyed them. So the big news is not really that this thing is tiny and thin, 2 pounds, which I think an Apple
What's an iPad weigh?
An iPad Air
Proper?
or an iPad proper is like 1.4. iPad Air is like 1.2. So this thing's like literally the dimensions of an iPad.
I was watching this with one of our employees here at Arkus, and we were watching it streaming on the Apple TV.
We call them fellows here.
One of the fellows, the associate fellows.
The associates.
And we were just waiting for them to just start touching the screen, and it just never happened. We were waiting on it.
Or to flip it upside down.
Like, do something to that screen, and they just, nope, they weren't going there.
I think they've done a lot of studies on it, and I'm now, because
You're touching your screen.
I'm not, because I don't want to get dirty, because I was just eating popcorn. But
on the air? How dare you?
I did. You want to hear what it sounds like?
I don't. Well, now you're annoying a lot of people.
Yeah. Well, that's how good it was, because I ate it without them knowing.
No, they knew. Trust me.
So, this thing, do it. Put your hand out there and try to touch your screen.
No.
And hold it there for like 30 seconds.
No.
It gets tiring.
No.
Real fast.
No.
And that's not just because I worked out with my trainer this morning and my arms are really
Why
dead.
don't you Google it? You know what? This is tiring. I don't want to do that.
He tried it for a half a second. Justin is a man of,
still
of
doing
endurance.
It. I'm still doing it. Look at me. I'm doing that.
All right.
I'm sliding things.
Well, let's talk about the innovation.
It's tiny. It's got 2 peripheral ports, one on one side and one on the other.
Yeah, it's got a phone earphone jack, which I'm glad they didn't leave that.
Because when they were talking about it, they're like, everything's wireless. Your wireless headphones, and I'm like, I don't have those. I do. Don't you dare get rid of that port.
We'll talk about that later.
And then this one little thing that I was like, what's that thing? It looks like a lightning, but it's not a lightning.
USB-C.
Yeah.
It's a new USB standard. I don't think it's been picked up by everybody. I think it's one of those, Apple's kind of pushing it a little bit. USB-C, it can do everything from HDMI to Lightning to power, everything in one port.
How are they going to do? And they're going to have so many little dongles and just a mess of converter cable
We already
things.
have that for Lightning and Thunderport.
I know, but when you think about plugging in your monitor.
Yes.
And you have a 27-inch, you have 2 27-inch Apple displays.
Yep.
One for the office, one for home.
Yes.
How is that going to work with that computer?
Why?
What do you mean, why? Because it has 3 things you have to plug in to make it work.
No, it'll all come through one. Oh, my actual one?
No, your pretend one. Yeah, your actual one.
It's going to be an adapter, and it's good. Don't eat popcorn on that.
Don't eat popcorn. Why are you eating popcorn? You're going to have this dongle that's going to have 3 plugs plugging into one thing so that it can plug into one other thing. It's going to be a
I don't know
mess
how that's any
for a
different.
while.
So right now it comes out as 3 and it plugs in 3 ways. It's going to come out as 3. It's going to go into one dongle.
Which you have to buy.
Yeah, but
twice.
I get to plug in that one dongle. Meaning every time, because I actually do this, I swap out a computer every day back and forth, and I pull it out. I pull out all 3, and I just going to pull out one, and I'm going to leave it sitting there. Actually makes my life easier.
That means there's new displays on the way.
I think so.
And they are going to have to plug into that one thing.
Yes.
Because they're going to have the reverse. They're going to have 2 dongles. One to go 3 to 1.
Going that, and then out of the display, you'll be able to do all the other things.
They're going to need 2 dongles when they come out with the new one. They're going to need one that goes from 3 to 1, and then they're going to need another one that goes from 1 to 3.
Can't wait. So that's kind of interesting. I thought actually the most interesting thing was the battery, that they have created a way.
We took batteries and thought of a way that nobody's ever thought of to make a battery before.
They're in these
slots.
No,
they're
tableaus.
Yeah, they're slotted.
Yeah,
they're not
square.
wasting. Yeah, they're not wasting space.
It's funny because when they showed the open of this thing, and they're like, and they show you where they put this little tiny power processor and memory, and then they showed you where they put the trackpad, which is new, has this. I guess it reacts to your thing and like makes it feel like you're clicking. It's not actually moving, but it makes it feel like it is. And I've heard it's really cool. Like people have used it, so it feels like it's.
And we've totally reinvented the keyboard with butterfly actions.
A new keyboard.
The things they make a big deal out of, if anyone else made a big deal out of it, they would be made fun of forever.
Probably. But they're good at it.
They think about it in a different way than anybody else thinks about it.
I think they're great. I'm excited for the MacBook. I'm not going to buy one. Have no interest in it. All I want
I'm excited for that stuff to get to my MacBook Pro
That's
in a
right.
year.
Just not in a year. 6 months. Right?
Just get there
WWDC prediction now. Apple TV, MacBook Pro with all this stuff in it.
New displays.
And new displays. That's it. Boom. Just happened. Boom. Write it down.
And new iPads.
I think that's
new iPad minis.
Fall.
Back to school.
So then the smallest bit of announcement, which was not something that everybody knew was coming. So none of this anybody knew was coming. The thing that everybody knew was coming was the Apple Watch. And finally, to get the pricing, to get the features, to get what it does, to get how long it lasts on battery, all those things, including when's it going to be available and when you can buy it, et cetera, et cetera. So
I'm getting Watch Edition.
Well, no. Let's talk about like all the things.
So Watch Edition.
There's three
that's
different.
That's the $10,000 one, which I'm getting
edition.
With the gold chain link. I'm getting the $1 million version.
$17,000.
I want the $1 million watch that I have to charge every 18 hours.
If you're
with
lucky,
a plug.
18. Well, but wireless plug.
I want to charge. I want to spend 10 G's on a watch that needs to be charged every day.
Those are going to be so limited, and here's what they're for:
Bono,
Jay-Z, Bono, Miley, and whatever. That's what they're for. They're for someone who doesn't want to be seen with the regular Apple Watch because now they can have the gold the gold one. I'll tell you who liked the gold one and was like, oh, "That's a great one." My wife, she's like, "Ooh, that gold one's really nice. I really like that one."
Yeah, it's
and I said,
"Go get it."
$10,000, and she's like, "What?"
Yeah,
I said, "It's a gold watch. Like, how much? If you go Google gold Rolex, guess how much they cost? $50,000."
Do you have to charge a Rolex every day?
Actually, you do.
Like every day, you have to charge it, plug it into a wall or something.
It needs motion on your hand.
Well, that's when you wear it.
Yes, but you're actually giving it the power. Once they figure out how to take motion on your hand to power an Apple Watch, we'll never have to charge it again.
Thank goodness, I want that right now.
Soon coming. So here's the big picture. They did 3 different editions, and basically to break it down, the editions are the same. They have 3 different sort of casings. There's aluminum, there's steel.
Aluminium,
steel, and gold.
They reinvented aluminium.
Oh, man, you're just going to keep going with this?
They reinvented aluminum and called it aluminium.
You're going to keep going with this joke? It doesn't get any better.
They reinvented it.
It doesn't get any better.
We created a whole new alloy.
The best part is I turned you out of your grumpiness, which is good.
It's good. We created a whole new alloy.
But the answer to the question is there are 3 different casings, and they are $349, like $5 or $9.99, and whatever.
Do you know what was funny was how the partner who shall not be named, who shall remain nameless, who everyone knows who he is now, so we could all make fun of him.
Yeah,
he's like, I really want that sport one so that it does my blood pressure. Yeah, it's like they all do the same thing. It's just a different case.
Well, and that
but
does
no,
do
I
your
want
blood
it for sport.
Well,
okay.
There's a couple differences. One is the sport one's much lighter. It's 10 grams lighter than the other one.
I want lightness.
Lightness is good. It's really the bands, like the steel band. They're going to sell extra. Like you can buy it. It's $459.
And there were 2 versions of this sport, weren't there? 2 different colors of aluminum.
Nope.
I thought there was like a steel one was aluminum, one was steel, one was gold. But the aluminum one, the sport, there was one that was 3. The aluminium was like $350 and $4. Because I think one was like brushed metal and one was
there's
like
a black, space gray
or whatever.
Yes, that's the one I'm getting.
You're getting space gray?
Yeah, space gray.
I'm gonna get the cheapest one with 2 bands.
Cheapest one with 2 bands.
2 bands.
No, I want the space gray.
And I have to decide whether the second band, 1 band's just for running in.
But so they can be the same bands. You're gonna get like two two rubber bands,
That's what I have to decide. Do I want to get a nicer band?
Wow, you're gonna get the nicer band,
right?
That's tricky, man.
I know, it's tricky stuff.
Yeah, well, because that band's gonna cost like $600.
I know.
So we really didn't learn anything new about the phone itself, except for the pricing.
We learned one very interesting fact.
What?
We learned about some of the apps.
Right, we learned about apps, and including, which I guess brings us all back.
Bring it all back.
Is that Salesforce is launching not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 apps for the phone, for the Apple phone, or the Apple phone, the Apple Watch.
They're all in on it.
Yeah,
all in.
And they put the press release. It's up on I think Salesforce.com/Apple Watch.
Yep.
And
run your business from your watch. All the jokes we make about running your business from your phone, we can now make them even more about running your business from your watch.
Including, I'm glad that I didn't just see. So they have analytics dashboard, analytics lens, analytics at a glance, and this is the sorry, those others.
That's the Wave stuff.
There's the Wave stuff. Then there's the Sales app, Salesforce One app for Apple Watch, Analytics Cloud for Apple Watch, and then there's Salesforce Wear. I guess that's their.
What's just the notification one?
Oh, there's only 3 apps. Salesforce Wear for Apple Watch. Build Apple Watch apps for anyone ever. That's the platform one. So there's 3 apps. There's the Wear, which I guess is just like a platform one. You can do anything you want with it. Build on it. Kind of cool. Clone this user Apple Watch?
No. Who's cloning a user on a watch? Seems silly.
You're gonna wait. I'm gonna wait for you to think about it, and then you're gonna be like, "Oh, wait, that'd be kind of fun."
It.
Analytics Cloud for Apple Watch. That's clearly just to go into. That's to go into the Wave platform. Do we think? It looks like it.
I think that's all Wave.
It's all Wave.
I think it's all Wave.
Right. And then Salesforce One for Apple Watch, which is notifications, sales notifications, service notifications. So it's all the notification piece.
That's the one that I'll probably install. Just to get the notifications, some chatter stuff on there. Why not?
So you'll definitely. I did see one that I guess it was the nice thing about sales was there was an approval piece into it. Like you could approve from the phone,
from the watch.
From the watch.
You're gonna have to get over this.
Yeah,
it's kind of like blog versus podcast. You're gonna have to get over.
I didn't. It's been 4.5 years and I haven't gotten over it.
Get with the program, man.
I'll have to get one to get with the program. Interesting about the big thing about the watch that everybody's having a little bit of a trouble with is the connection to the phone. Where does the phone end and the watch take over? What can one do without the other?
It's funny. I was talking to you how I had a bit of a little bit. I wouldn't say concern. It was more because I'm never really concerned. I trust them. I trust that they think through things very thoroughly.
Who do you trust?
Apple.
Oh, okay.
And I was a little concerned with the whole hey, that looks too easy to use Apple Pay with that watch. Right. All you got to do is hold it in front of the thing, and it just works. Like on the phone, it needs your finger ID, whatever that's called.
It's called a fingerprint.
Yeah, but what do they call
it?
ID. Touch ID. Thank you. So I read up a little bit more about it, and you were saying, oh no, it's gonna ping the phone and ask for permission or whatever. Actually, in order to use Apple Pay, you have to set up a PIN. And as soon as you take the watch off of your wrist, Apple Pay is disabled. Yep. And when you put it back on your wrist, you're going to have to re-enter that PIN if you want to use Apple Pay.
It's awesome.
So that's it. It knows when it's on your wrist and off your wrist.
Right, because it's got the little LED lights it's watching.
It can connect that way. So the only way someone can really use your Apple Pay on your watch or get into your hotel room with your watch or get on a flight with your watch is if they saw your wrist off or something with the watch still on it,
which
you could totally do.
Well, but then what?
You'd be insane.
But
because you'd have to try and walk around with an arm.
But that's not it. That's just as secure as the phone. Because by the way, if you saw my wrist off, guess what you have with you?
Oh, I've got your
fingers.
You know what? There's the plan. I'm sawing your wrist off when you have the phone. You have the watch.
So it's just as secure as the phone, which is pretty secure. Anyway, so that's cool. I'm kind of excited that Salesforce is in there. That makes it an interesting. It makes it more interesting.
It does.
It makes it a must own.
It's a business tool.
It's a business tool. Might be a business expense. I'm not even sure.
It's a business tool at least.
It's a business tool. we were joking today at lunch, and we were talking about the Apple Watch and doing all sorts of stuff, and I said the first thing I'm doing with that thing is turning off all notifications because I have a Pebble. I've worn the Pebble, and it's that thing of like I don't want more notifications in my life.
Oh,
I don't.
The first thing I'm doing is I'm drawing a little flower and sending it to you.
I want to hear your heartbeat.
Yeah,
we can do that when we get it. We'll get on totally air and we'll send our heartbeat to each other for the whole podcast.
I cannot wait.
So some interesting stuff. What else? Anything else you took away from the big announcement that you're just like interesting or not? Or
what I'm gonna be really interested in when I get it.
Does your SO want one?
No, I don't think she does.
Neither does mine.
She doesn't really care.
See, remember when we talked about wearables and I said and I was quoting someone else, so I did not do this. When wearables go over the edge is when women want them. 50% of the population. And right now,
when she sees mine, like right now, she's like, "Great, another thing for you to be sitting on the couch and playing with, and not listening to me about." Like,
well,
talking.
That's you and your relationship, which I can point you to some other places. Maybe they have like counseling for the watch or something.
Great, so you have your iPad, you have your iPhone, and now you're gonna have this freaking watch on your wrist. Whatever.
Yeah, completely whatever.
So the thing will be when I have it and I start showing her some of the things on it, if then she'll want it. Because without seeing it, she doesn't care. But when she sees me playing around and showing her, like, here's my run from today, check this out, or whatever.
She's like, I got that on my phone.
Yeah, but, she might like that.
I think well, see, as an example, when the iPod came out, I used to call things I, by the way, before they named everything Apple, they used to call them I, but that's now, no one does I anymore. So when the iPod came out, and I probably told the story, I was not able to watch the keynote because I was at a retreat in Armonk, probably with your dad. So let's just bring it all around. And so I wasn't able to watch it. I had a BlackBerry, and I told my friend and my wife, or maybe girlfriend at the time, I said, send me the information on what it is by email because that's the only way I'm going to get it on my BlackBerry. So the thing happened in the news press release, and she ships me an email saying, "Oh, here's what they announced. It's an iPod. It's 5 gigabytes. $4.99." And then at the end, she's like, "I totally want one of these." iPod, sight unseen, whatever. Wanted it, and I ended up getting 2 of them and surprising her with one, and she's sort of been hooked ever since. So that's kind of interesting about this. It's like she does when she sees technology, and it's like she loves the MacBook Pro. She loves it. She looks at the MacBook Air and says, "No, I don't like it. It's too small." Like she does like these technology things. She has a Kindle. She looked at this and she has a nice watch and she just got it this year. So I think she sees it as competition for her sort of fancy watch, which I see it as well. So I think, maybe, the running aspect, she runs, she does that type of stuff. She doesn't track her, do the step tracking that you and I do. To us, that kind of replaces that piece of it.
I know I get to take this thing off my wrist.
And put another thing on your wrist.
That's right.
Yeah.
I told my wife, I said, I'll give you this and see if you like it or not. And then that could be a gateway drug.
My biggest concern is what we talked about last week, which is that this is a mix between fashion and technology. Fashion has...
Wait a minute.
Good fashion.
Wait a minute.
Yes, I just blew your mind.
Wait a minute.
Yes.
Are we talking about Will.i.am's thing now? Or are we talking about the Apple Watch?
Because this is actually... They're going after fashion magazines. They're making it at $17,000. They're playing a fashion side to this, as well as technology.
It's the most personal device
we've ever made. Next up is the Apple Eye. You replace your eye.
Wait for a contact lens that I can just drop in my eye.
Absolutely, it's gonna be awesome. But
I want that Terminator sort of view, right? Like how Terminator sees things. I want to be able to have that.
Anyway, so what I was gonna say was,
why don't we just move along?
No. I want to. But the thing is
just rambling now.
No. I'm saying that one of the things about your phone and your MacBook and your Apple TV even is that they're not fashion. And that watches typically in fashion and in collections, when people collect watches, Watches last a long time. People have collections where here's my father's watch. You have a watch your father gave you, that whatever.
It's timeless.
It's timeless. You don't swap it out. You don't say, "Ooh, I've owned this Rolex for 6 months. It's no longer good." It's like, no, actually there are editions of certain watches that grow in value. This is the reverse. These things won't grow in value. They have a battery. They have a destruction. They will destroy. They will not last forever. They're not made to last forever. So I think the piece that I'm a little concerned with is the disposableness of it, and then the price point, right? That $1,000 disposable watch seems kind of wrong. And I'm the guy who loves watches. The other thing is you can't have more than one, right? And we talked about this last week. When you own a watch, and I have a couple watches, I'm not a huge watch collector, but I have a Pebble, I have a nice watch my wife gave me, I have another one I got when we were married. But every day I look at my little collection of like 10 watches, some are like $2 watches, whatever, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to wear, and I pick between two. Out of the 10, I always pick two, and one I pick about 90% of the time. So I'm a little concerned of like, here's this thing that I'm going to want to wear all the time, but then I'm not wearing my sort of jewelry piece of watch that I really like. And when I want to wear my jewelry piece of watch, my nice watch that was given to me on my 40th birthday that my wife gave me, am I going to be, like, what's my feeling? Like, am I going to then, take it off? Am I going to put it down? Am I going to wear them both?
Well, you're going to wear the Apple Watch every day because you're going to want...
So this one I'm going to wear every day.
You're going to want the value of all the data that it's going to be collecting.
That's right.
It's not just a watch.
But but all that data it's collecting, I collect on my iPhone today, and I love that. Well, I'm telling you that within 6 months, I could be like, I don't like it. That it's too much noise, it's too much whatever, the charging, all that, and I'll just go back to using my iPad.
I want to just go back to the charging for 2 seconds, because you seem to understand it better than I do.
That's pretty much what you can say about everything in life.
Pretty much. How does it work? So I know it's got this thing that goes on the back of it that clips on magnetically, but where does that thing plug into? The other
probably
side
USB.
Of it? Is it USB-C?
I doubt it. No, it's USB.
So it'll plug into
one of your
standard plugs that I have for the phone or for the iPad, and it will just charge her up overnight, basically. So basically every night this thing needs to be charged.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is good. I mean, but that's the sort of thing. You're going to, like your phone, you pretty much charge it every night. The day I remember you didn't charge it, the next day you're like, oh, look, it's running out of battery. Like, you basically got to charge your phone every night if you want to have a full day and not worry about it, even with the bigger Plus. This is going to be like that. You go at night, you're going to plug in your phone.
Actually, never worry about the Plus in one day. It's the second day.
Right, but you can't make it to the second day.
Well, you can if you're not like going for a 6.5 mile run using GPS the entire time.
Oh,
but
okay.
I mean, it's 2:00 in the afternoon and I'm at 90% still.
Right.
And I've used the phone.
Yeah, I totally hear you. But I'm saying this is going to be 18 hours. And it depends what you do. You put it on your watch, you don't touch it, You stare at it constantly.
You have that Mickey Mouse watch face with the...
Remember, it doesn't go on until you lift it up.
Oh,
it's off
one of those dealies.
So, like, one of the things that people are complaining about is, like, right now, if I wanted to see, like, how much longer do I sit here with Justin, I can kind of, like, glance down and look at my watch. You won't be able to do that. It won't turn on. You'll have to lift it up to, like, and then it'll...
Oh, it's got, like, an accelerometer deals.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway, all right,
let's get over the watch. Let's wrap
I'm
this.
totally over it.
Let's
so, here's the question. Are you getting one?
I told you I was getting one.
Okay.
The Sport
30, 38 or 42?
See... I feel as though the 42 is right, but at the same time, I kind of want to just go to the store and put both of them on and see what I think. I could do that, and
or you could buy one and return it if you don't like it.
I could. I feel like 42 is right because that's the guy size, pretty much, right? And I feel like at a screen,
whoa. I don't know about that.
Why aren't there men's watches and women's watches, and they're different sizes?
Small men, big women. Don't go there.
But bigger screen on a small screen device, I feel like you take the extra, little screen real estate. Every little bit counts on something that small, I feel.
Yeah.
It's not gonna overpower my wrist.
I wear a 42, so I'm like, I know that I can handle it.
I don't think it'll overpower my... Yeah, can I have that, please?
You cannot have it.
Can I just try it?
You can touch it.
Oh my God, it's
huge.
So heavy.
It feels huge, doesn't it? Right now, Justin is trying on Jason's watch. He's trying to figure out the clasp. It's much bigger for his wrist. Oh,
it's heavy.
Yeah.
My wrist is a little bigger than yours, I think.
No, that's about right.
It fits pretty well.
Yeah.
You know what? Same size.
42.
See, that's a little...
Yeah. Then you would maybe open
I'd
it up a little bit.
looser.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It should go up. This is fascinating podcasting.
This is so fascinating.
All right, let's talk about...
Oh, my goodness. This is so spot on. The time is so correct.
The time is way off.
It's so wrong.
It's because I don't wire it.
What is wrong with you?
I don't wear it every day.
Why do you even wear it if it doesn't tell time?
I forget to set it.
This is not...
Is it the right day?
It's the right day, but it's like...
There you go. And that's half the battle.
It's like 2.5 hours slow.
That's because it's self-winding. You know what I don't have to do? Charge it.
You know what you don't have? The right time.
So true. All right, make your pick. CloudFocus app pick of the week. Justin goes first. Don't pick the Apple Watch.
I'm going to pick the Google Calendar for the iOS. So finally, Google came out with the little standalone. They've had the Gmail product for a while and Hangouts and a couple other Google app products that have standalone apps on iOS, Docs, Drive, Sheets, all those apps. And now Calendar joins it, and it's got a nice little view of your Google Calendar.
It's got one major flaw.
All right, you'll tell me the flaw. I found one thing that it made my day. So you know, because we sync our calendars into Salesforce.
Yes.
And occasionally you will see some weird event on my calendar that doesn't look like it belongs because it's some 6-year-old recurring event that was set up on another calendar that was then synced into the Arkus version of the calendar, and it's like a ghost event. It doesn't appear in the UI anywhere, but it's there.
Wait. Was that starring Matt Damon, Ghost Event?
Yeah.
That was really good.
I don't know.
Right.
So this thing actually exposed those ghost events and allowed me to delete them.
Oh, well, that's good.
So I was like, bonus time.
Yeah.
I love it. So now I shouldn't have these events that are like 6 years old on my calendar anymore.
But so what did it do for you? What does it do for you? That's so
it visualizes things kind of in a cute way.
How?
It pulls people. Well, if it has the word like lunch or dinner, it puts in. I can show you.
No, I have it.
Oh, right here. So like there, you have one right there.
Yes.
It does that kind of stuff. It can do the directional stuff. It can do the built in with the Google Maps stuff. It could do people's faces and things of that nature, like who you're meeting with. So, it's just a nice visual into your Google Calendar.
So it has a few flaws. Let me tell you what those flaws are.
I don't really care about its flaws.
Here's the big one. I like the views. I like the whole thing. I've been using it.
I like that schedule view.
I like the when it does a notification on the one that comes from your calendar, it doesn't tell you the time. Right. It just says it's due. This one says it's from this to this. So this is okay. Here's where it's failing.
Where does it fail? Oh. You're not doing anything.
Exactly. It's not doing anything.
Oh, you went.
Here's what this thing.
You went
does.
Landscape and it didn't do anything.
Yeah.
So it needs a landscape week view or something.
Yeah.
Open it back up.
It doesn't do a landscape view. It's okay. But I don't. One of the other people.
No landscape.
One of the people here at. Oh, and the other fail. It's not universal. It's not an iPad version. And I actually love the iPad version of the calendar. I use it all the time. It's very, very good. So I don't know. It just doesn't add anything new to my life. I mean, a background picture for something that says lunch or dinner, it's like, okay.
Yeah. I mean, isn't this kind of cool? A ski weekend, and it picked up ski, and it put a little thing on, a little flair to it.
I guess.
A little flair. It's kind of nice.
Yeah, I guess. It's just not doing. But you got to give me features. You can't just give me a picture.
You can't just get cuteness.
No,
cute's a feature.
No, cute is not a feature.
Cute is a platform feature.
Clone. Let's see. On St. Patrick's Day, does it have a picture of St. Patty's? No. Fail.
It should have a bunch of drunk people.
Oh. Please write all complaints to justin.edelstein@arkusinc.com.
What are you going to complain about?
I don't know. You're saying people on St. Patty's Day. All right. So that's your pick. Although you're putting to the Gmail box. So it's available for iOS, Google Calendar. I'm going to pick something that I've been having to pick for many weeks, but I am finally picking it because I've actually used it probably 7 or 8 times now. I got for the holidays this year from a peer here at Arkus. I got a pair of Beats by Dre. They're called Power Beats. So they're the ones in the commercial. You know this. They're the ones that you see LeBron putting on. You see that Cam Newton putting on. Who else? Who's the other?
Oh,
it's a woman, right?
I don't know.
It's like a soccer player.
I really don't know.
Maybe it's what's her face. Anyway, so those two, and they put them on, and then they have these great songs, and they work out, and so they're wireless, small, behind the ear, behind the head, Bluetooth earphones meant for staying on your phone. They are pretty good. They have a few things that I haven't gotten used to. They feel great. They sit on your ear. They, you can turn your head. They don't. They have to connect via wireless to your phone, so you don't have to have a cord. You don't have to wrap your cord. And I run a lot, and so when you run, sometimes getting that cord to stay enough so it's not banging against you is kind of the pain. So it's great for that. They last 6 hours, so you don't really have to worry unless you're running more than a marathon. Or doing something, whatever. They charge via USB. They come with a little charge cord. Nice little package. They turn on and turn off. They connect up. Here's the 2 things that I haven't found, and maybe I just need to get better at it. One is I feel like they make their own noise when sitting in your ears, and maybe it's because I don't either have a too big or too small, the size of the thing, so it's kind of making a suction.
I tried them on. They're not the kinds that I like.
Right.
The in-ear.
Well, they are in ear. They go in ear.
Kind of not.
Yeah.
They kind of are, kind of not.
And then the other thing is, I went to the gym to try to watch on the iPad.
Yeah.
And now I just tried one thing. I tried Hulu.
Yeah.
So I'm streaming Hulu from the wizard over the whatever.
Didn't really like it.
It couldn't keep up with the set. Couldn't keep up.
Oh, it wasn't in sync.
No.
It was
so it was behind.
Oh, that would just kill me.
So that's for video, but for audio you don't care because you stream audio.
That would crush my dreams.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. So I don't wear them in the gym. I only wear them running.
Oh, that stinks.
So,
well.
Yeah. So they're good, but they're not brilliant.
Good pick.
Well, I'm saying for running and for outdoor stuff, they're great because you don't have the cord, and they feel nice on your ear, and you just do forget you even have them. So I'm getting so anyway, I'm getting a side thing here. Justin wants to wrap it up. All right, so that's that. For next week...
Will you knock it off already?
Yeah.
Wrap it up.
For next week, we're going to do our 2 blog posts. We're going to talk about survey tools for Salesforce and a unique dive or a hands-on working dive for Lightning, the new Salesforce process building technology, which will or will not come with some pretty cool videos. So we're going to kind of break the mold.
For Lightning Week.
For Lightning Week.
Which is this week,
although it's going to be launched next week. The Blogmaster needs to pay more attention. And
this week was Lightning Week.
Right, but then they should have been published this week.
We're writing it about our experiences with Lightning Week.
Oh, it's a Lightning Week experience?
It's like a recap of Lightning Week. Just stick with it.
It sounds so awesome. Anyway, so we'll be back next week. As always, you can follow Justin at Justin Edelstein, or Just Edelstein. You can follow me at Jason M. Atwood. You can follow the company at Arkus Inc. We're on Facebook, facebook.com/Arkus Inc. We're in the Success Community Group in Salesforce. LinkedIn, Google+. Remember to subscribe and review in iTunes and, if you want, in Stitcher. Although iTunes did have a big outage. Maybe we'll talk about that next week. Until then, we'll be back next week. It's Justin and Jason saying enjoy those cloudy days.